This is Oscar. He's an independent filmmaker in the year 2012. If you were somehow watching this in the mid-90s, he might seem kind of alien to you. But at present, the odds are that you, or someone you know, is an independent filmmaker in the year 2012. And you've probably read about the recent DSLR camera craze and how big studio movies are shot on the very same camera that Oscar spent 4 paychecks on. And this news might make you think, good for Oscar. Now all that he needs to turn his adventurous ideas into cinema-ready hits is a little elbow grease and a winning attitude, right? Well, sort of. Let's start at the beginning. Oscar grew up in the 1980s. He was kind of weird and really nerdy, which at the time, believe it or not, was actually a liability. He got bullied and pushed around a lot. He just didn't seem to fit in anywhere. He needed someplace he could go to forget about his disappointing lot in life. So Oscar went to the movies. In case you weren't around back then, just so you know, it was a really good time to go to the movies. These weren't just banal stories that took your money and ran. These were true adventures into the human heart. These were characters you knew. They were you, in peril, at your all-time best. These were juggernauts of entertainment, and Oscar was head over heels in love. He studied every frame. He read every book about how they were made. How did these heroes exist? What propelled them forward toward that elixir of life? Oscar's focus was so narrow, so unyielding, he didn't have time for algebra or chemistry. Out of school by the skin of his teeth, and lacking the money to offset that, film school was out of reach. So Oscar got a job opening boxes and putting things on shelves, and there he stayed. Then something happened. Oscar met a couple of people who shared his relentless fascination and were willing to take on the abyssal task of creating an amateur movie. His dream was coming true. Who needed money when you had motivation? Oscar had really nice and helpful friends, but he couldn't pay them anything. They had jobs to go to before he could get a good take or keep the wheels from falling off his homemade dolly. He just didn't have the tens of thousands of dollars it took to make a no-budget movie. Oscar was looking at a lifetime of opening boxes and putting things on shelves. So, Oscar is not actually a real person, but he is representative of a lot of very frustrated individuals. And if you want to find out what you can do to help a group of said individuals, visit oftheunknown.com.